Now, Mim, what did you think every time he wanted to start a new venture? Was that okay with you?
That was all right with me.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll give her credit. A lot of, especially on our first business buy, when I left my job at David Bradley Manufacturing and to buy the small business up in Waukegan, Illinois. A lot of wives would have, you know, said, "Hey, do you really know what you're doing?"
Because didn't you sell your new home?
We sold our new home. We had a nice home that we just built out in Shore Acres, which was one of the premier neighborhoods in Kankakee. We just built that home. We had to sell our house. We cashed in all of our Sears profit sharing. We put together every nickel that we had.
It was sink or swim.
Yeah, we cashed in her teacher retirement fund.
Oh boy.
Which had, I don't know how much, but you know, money.
A little bit was a lot then.
A little bit of money was a lot back in those days. But Mim never, I don't remember her ever questioning my judgment or challenging me, and I have really appreciated that.
There were a lot of them that didn't turn out well.
Oh, I had a few failures too.
You had a couple that didn't work so well?
I'd like to tell you about one of them.
Okay.
No, that's no good.
That'd be good to have both sides.
Yes.
About the fish?
Oh yes. While I was in semi-retirement living in Phoenix, an engineer from El Paso, Texas came up to Phoenix and met with a group of 3 or 4, I think there were 3 of us, and he had a great idea of how to how to farm catfish in a closed environment, whereas most fish farms are built around either a lake or a pond or something like that, natural water. His idea was to have an enclosed system where the water was continuously recirculated, purified, and you could grow fish out in the middle of the Sahara Desert if you had a reasonable, just a modest water supply. And it sounded like a great idea. It had been proven that it could be done successfully on a pilot basis by 2 or 3 universities in the South, where they built very small scale systems and done just what he wanted to do on a large scale. So the 3 of us put together the money, built a large plant down in El Paso. I think it was about a 30,000 square foot building.
All concrete.
He built the whole system out of concrete because his background in engineering was in heavy construction work. So all of the filter systems and the holding tanks and everything, he fashioned out of concrete, which is very hard design to change.
It sure is. You can't move the parts very well.
Well, the long and short of it was that while it worked on the pilot scale in the research work that had been done at some universities, we were never able to make it work on a large enough scale to be profitable. So after a lot of money and about 5 or 6 years of working to try to make that product go, we finally closed it up, tore out all the concrete, sold the building to somebody else, and that was
the end of that.
That was the end of that venture.
But overall, you've come out ahead.
Yes, thank you, good Lord. The Lord has blessed us immeasurably in our lives.
Wow, it sounds like it. And you know, talking to your son Greg, one of the things you've inspired him with is, I remember him sharing to me one day, he says, "I don't think there's anything that my dad doesn't think he can do." And so that's quite a motivation to give to your kids, because there are a lot of people who just don't do things because they're afraid of trying. Wouldn't you say that?
I certainly agree with that. The fear of failure is a dominant issue with many people.
Yep. And I think that fact you kind of hinted that that first man that you worked with in management there, David Bradley, helped you kind of get around that, or
he did. He
the vision that
encouraged
you
me,
could do things?
He encouraged me in so many ways. After I graduated from Olivet, while I was working at David Bradley, he encouraged me to go up to Chicago, to University of Chicago, and to Illinois Institute of Technology, and take courses that would help me in the work that I was doing at David Bradley Manufacturing. And
all of them helped you?
All of them helped me over that.
Well, now with this art company there, which one of you was the best painter?
I didn't try painting.
Oh.
He did. He tried.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I've done a little of that.
But you haven't sold many of your paintings?
I haven't sold any of my paintings. I have given them away to some of our children and grandchildren, and I had to twist their arms to take them, I think.
So you didn't get into the painting business because you were an artist?
No, not at all.
A businessman. Okay. Well, I got those now. I'm losing my train of thought here. Miriam, how about your family? Can you fill us in? I think you have 2 children, right?
Yes.
Okay. Anything about your children you could tell us?
Well, I can tell you they were very successful in what they do now. And
What's their occupation?
Greg is a dentist.
Okay.
He and his wife went to Africa as missionaries after their children grew up, and he sold his dental office practice because they felt God wanted them to go to Africa, and they spent about 8 years there. And while he was there, he did dental work in orphanages around the city. What was the city they were there?
Nairobi.
Nairobi. And we went to see them one Christmas when they were in Nairobi. It was very interesting. And they enjoyed their work there. And when he came home, the dentist that he sold his business to wanted him to come back. And in the meantime, this dentist died, and so Greg is back in his office again.
Same place he was then, huh?
And he enjoys that. And Marcia?
Tell them about Greg and Sue's children.
Oh, well, they have 2 boys.
2 boys.
Jason, who is a veterinarian, and
He's a specialist in radiology.
Oh, and radiology is a veterinarian, huh?
And he's working in a college in Wisconsin.
University of Wisconsin.
Okay.
And,
he's single though, is that right?
no, yes, he's single.
Okay.
And then Chris married and has 1 little boy. Chris is a businessman in a big company near Fort Wayne, Indiana.
So you are a great-grandmother?
Oh, yes.
5 times.
5 times?
All boys.
All boys? Whoa. Now, do you enjoy being a great-grandmother?
Yes, oh yes. I like when they come. And they come quite often. It's cool to see them.
And exciting to see that legacy going on, isn't it? The heritage. Yeah.
Marcia and Dan are now in Germany. They're working in Berlin.
Berlin.
He is a what do you call it?
U.S. ambassador
to Germany. He did a lot of things before he got there. He was in the Senate for about 12 years in April. And then when he wanted to retire, he thought that politicians shouldn't go to make a lifetime of it, that they should do their work and then get out. and let someone else take over.
Okay.
And so he did get out after about 10 years. And then President Bush asked him to go to Germany. So that's where they are now. And they've been there 4 years ever since Bush was elected.
Do you think Marcia likes the connections with the political lifestyle?
I think she does. I think she enjoys it.
Ah. Now, would that have been something you would have enjoyed?
I think I would have, but I'm happy where I'm enjoying what we're doing.
Without being in politics, okay.
Yes.
And they have children too, is that right?
They have 3, 2 girls and a boy.
Okay.
Laura is the oldest, and she has 3 little boys. Lisa is next, and she has 1 little boy. And Andrew's not married.
Okay.
Lives and works in Washington in politics.
So you have...
Well, he works for a politician in Washington.
Oh, okay. So you have 2 grandchildren that are single then?
Yes.
Okay. Wow. And there are probably going to be more to come, aren't there, down the road?
I hope.
The more the merrier there, right? Well, very good. It's the blessings of the family there are so important, aren't they?
We're so thankful that we have a
wonderful family.
Family that so far has not been messed up with drugs or divorces or all the problems that are frequently a problem.
Well, I think that reflects, though, that you guys must have put some emphasis in some right areas over the years. Good mother there and grandmother. Yep.
None of them smoke or drink or do drugs.
So it's a great thing, isn't it?
I remember reading something recently about some famous person, I forget who it was, asked a mother about how her children were doing, and she said, "Oh my, they're already 5 or 6 years old." He said, "Goodness, woman, if you haven't done the right things with them now, it's going to be too late."
Yep, those early
years.
Crucial.
And Mem was a wonderful mother to our family
and when the
all these years.
When the children were home, you basically were a stay-at-home mom with them?
Yes.
And so you could spend time with them?
Before they came, I taught school.
But you don't regret spending those hours with them, do you?
Oh no, I enjoyed it.
That was, yeah, I think that's important there.